happen this time. Donald Trump was the thesis. Joe Biden was the anti-Trump antithesis. And the American people said, we are going back to the thesis. It is an utter and complete repudiation of everything Joe Biden. And it is, in fact, a justification of President Trump's policies. It is an absolute endorsement of President Trump's policies by the American people. And that's going to make a huge difference, as we can see, because Trump is acting with alacrity. So yesterday, J.D. Vance, the now Vice President of the United States, was sworn in. And I have to say, it was such a sweet scene. Really, really sweet. So J.D. has a beautiful family. His wife, Usha, she was holding one of his kids. His kid had like 3 Band-Aids on her, which if you have a toddler, understand is kind of the norm. Having a young family be sworn in this way with actual children, this is like a restoration of Norm's election, believe it or not. Joe Biden was abnormal. This is the revenge of the normies. I said this the entire election cycle, and the revenge of the normies took place. J.D. Vance is a normie. Here was J.D. Vance, your Vice President of the United States, being sworn in yesterday by John Roberts.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, James David Vance, do solemnly swear.
I, James David Vance, do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith.
That I will bear true faith.
And allegiance to the same.
And allegiance to the same.
That I take.
Yo, Panzer's in the house. Zacchaeus is in the house. Eric's in the house. Everybody's here. What's up, guys? Thank you guys for being here. JD Vance's wife seems like a sweet woman. Yeah, she does. I like the way she looks at JD. I really like the way she looks at JD. You know it, Eric. You know
this
it.
Obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office.
The duties of the office.
On which I am about to enter.
On which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Vice President.
The beautiful scene at the Capitol, that is Justice Brett Kavanaugh, who again would not be on the Supreme Court except for the stalwart work of Mitch McConnell, as well as the stalwart work of President Donald J. Trump, who stuck with him.
I think the Chief Justice swears in the president. The Chief Justice swears in the president. Somebody, then I guess an Associate Justice swears in the VP. I don't know. I really don't know.
When Democrats launched horrible attacks against Kavanaugh, swearing in J.D. Vance, who took enough slings and arrows of his own right there. And then, of course, it was time for the president-elect of the United States to become the president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, taking the oath of office as president of the United States for the second time, this time being sworn in by John Roberts. By the way, has a terrible record of swearing in presidents. He didn't wait for Melania to arrive with the family Bible. So that was his second time screwing up the inauguration. He actually screwed up the inauguration of Barack Obama so badly they had to do it in the back room. Not a shock to me, since I didn't think he's a very good justice. In any case, here he was swearing in Donald John Trump as your 47th president of the United States.
Oh, you know what I should do? I should do a little bit of clip work. A little bit of clip work here. It's 4:50.
Approximately 1,500 people. Six commutations.
And you know that was the FBI's biggest ever operation? What a waste and a horrible organization. You know, my point with that last night was, dude, the FBI's biggest operation ended up being a total waste in light of the pardons. Here's my tweet. The DOJ and FBI's biggest and most expensive operations of all time were all a total and complete waste of taxpayer dollars. Trump vindicated, all J6ers pardoned. What more proof do you need? So it's like they spent all of that time and effort, and money, and all of our money going after the J6ers, going after Trump. It was all a waste. It was all a complete waste. Isn't that crazy? So because Fauci got pardoned, does that mean it will have to be the states that go after him? Yes, TLS, exactly, yes. Yeah, Panzer, that's so awesome, though. Panzer. I'm so glad that Trump did that executive order to ending birthright citizenship, because now we're going to hopefully get an answer from the Supreme Court, because this has been up for debate. And there are strong legal arguments that the president can do that. And presidents in the past have said that they would do that, and they never have. Or have said they're thinking about it, but never have. So Donald Trump doing that is just so awesome. I love it. Army, wow. Dude, it's just like so obvious when it's just like look at their Oval Offices comparing Biden and Trump. It's obvious that Biden hated America and Trump likes America. It's obvious from their Oval Office setup. Great clip. Anybody that sees that should be like, hey, I know this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy knows what he's talking about. Man, I got a lot of clips yesterday.
The hell out of him. And I helped my reputation.
Do you think you'd have to do the same thing at the end of this term?
Well, I guess now I have precedent to do it. I wouldn't want to do that. No, I think it makes you look very guilty. I think it makes Biden look very bad, very weak, and very guilty.
Yep. Amen. Amen to that. Yep.
I mean, he pardoned.
Donald Trump yesterday was on fire. What did Trump do today? What was the president's schedule today? Who did they put out did they do a daily presser? Did they do the daily press briefing today? Oh, Trump did speak today. Wait, where is this?
Faces.
This looks like... This isn't the Oval Office, is it? Or is it? No, this isn't the Oval Office.
Thank you.
What room is this?
Nice to see you. Some very familiar faces. Well, thank you very much, and it's an honor to be here today. We have first full day as president. We're back, and we had a great first term, but we're going to have an even better second term.
Do you really think the U.S. would, the Supreme Court would overturn Ron Kim Ark? Wait, what's that, Eric? I have no idea what that is. Is that a birthright citizenship case? First of all, it doesn't, first of all, this was I don't think you would have to overturn this, Eric. This is different than our current system, because this was decided in 1898, and it said, this person had a permanent domicile and residence. And when it says a permanent domicile and residence in the United States, that means you're there legally. And so obviously in 1898, we didn't really have the immigration laws we have today. So it wouldn't have to be overturned for the Supreme Court to say that birthright citizenship is not automatic under the 14th Amendment today.
we beat the hell out of. One of the better feelings I've ever had.
Do you like this count better now than in 2017?
Well, we're very experienced now. You would say nobody's ever had experience like I have. I've dealt with.
Thoughts on anarcho-capitalism? Pog Froggy, it's irrelevant. Next question. All right, hold on. Let me make sure that these are all uploading to your turb. Content, videos. Nope, shorts. There we go. Trump right that Biden's look guilty. Dems took down military flags in the Oval Office. FBI's biggest ever operation totally wasted.
Order relating to unleashing Alaska's potential as an energy reservoir for the entire nation.
And what about Anwar?
I believe that would be included in aspects of the order.
We're opening up Anwar.
We're opening up Anwar. Yeah, go! Let's go! Let's get Anwar! Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. I'm just trying to get up a couple of clips here, guys, before we start the stream. So just give me a few more seconds here while I upload some of these shorts. All right, we did get Trump's feelings walking into the Oval Office up. Now we're getting Anwar. Open it up.
My.
We'll do one more here.
And it's like nothing happened. That ruling was 6 months ago. You know that. And it was like they didn't have a ruling. They've been treated very unfair. The judges have been absolutely brutal. The prosecutors have been brutal. Nobody's ever treated people in this country like that.
Yeah, true. Seriously. Good point, Trump. Yeah, it's called equal protection. If you guys haven't seen me on Twitter, I've been responding to everybody saying equal protection. Look it up, because it's like, dude, no, we don't think that people that were violent towards cops, should get away with it and should be pardoned. We do, however, support fairness and justice and equal protection.
And I think we're going to do things that people would be shocked at. We're starting off with tremendous investment coming into our country at levels that nobody's really ever seen before. And they're very happy with the fact that I won the race and that they feel confident in their investments. And it's big money and high quality people. So my first day back from having a nice life, it's my honor to welcome.
On his first day in office, Trump is expected to take action to return federal employees to in-person work. A Senate investigation found just 6% of federal workers show up to work in person. I knew that. Not a single government agency is occupying even half of their office space. Yeah, I knew all this. It's been in the news. There's been lots of articles about it. I find it absolutely appalling, Numb. Like I that should be, if we had an honest media, the fact that only 6% of federal bureaucrats are working and that we have all that empty office space, that would be number one headline breaking news every single day. That's how I view it. It's like, whoa, this is such, but here we are.
Three of the world's leading technology CEOs. And in the case of Larry Ellison, it's well beyond technology. He's sort of CEO of everything. He's an amazing man, an amazing business person. But to announce the largest AI infrastructure project by far in history, and it's all taking place right here in America. As you know, there's great competition for AI and other things, and they're coming in at the highest level. We're joined by Oracle Executive Chairman Larry Ellison, SoftBank CEO, my friend Masa Yoshi-san, and CEO of OpenAI, and I would say the by far the leading expert based on everything I read, Sam Altman. So that's great that you're coming in together. That's a massive group of talent and money. Together, these world-leading technology giants are announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it in the future. A new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure in the United States, and very, very quickly, moving very rapidly, creating over 100,000 American jobs almost immediately. This monumental undertaking is a resounding declaration of confidence in America's potential under a new president. Let me be a new president. I didn't say it, they did. So I appreciate that, fellas. But it'll ensure the future of technology. What we want to do is we want to keep it in this country. China is a competitor and others are competitors.
By the way, Jedlon.
We want it to be in this country.
With the follow.
We're making it.
Jedlon, I don't know if Jedlon's still here. Jedlon, welcome to the stream. Sorry, I had to finish up some work. I can't believe people still sending emails right up till 5 o'clock. Sorry, behind on chat. 1927 Ethos in the house. DOE had 8 people daily. Average for a building that could support 4,800. That's unbelievable, Num. That's insane. I mean, don't you agree with me, Num? That should be headline breaking news if we had an honest media. Day one, $500 billion OpenAI center in Texas. Trump is winning. That's why Jeff, Mark, Sugar, Cook were there. Oh, and is that what this announcement about that we're watching, guess? Dude, yeah, that's wild.
Available. I'm going to help a lot through emergency declarations, because we have an emergency. We have to get this stuff built. So they have to produce a lot of electricity, and we'll make it possible for them to get that production done very easily at their own plants if they want, where they'll build at the plant, the AI plant, they'll build energy generation, and that will be incredible.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Guess you got a good clip.
And I hope the other ones don't hear me say that. But this is the one. And now we're going to cut a cake. And they said, could you be very, very careful, sir? Don't cut the plane, which is cake. Cut the runway. I think that's a good idea. Thank you very much. We love you all. Thank you very much.
Presenting the sabers to the President and Vice President. Captain Abigail Barge, United States Air Force. Petty Officer, 2nd Class Robert George, United States Coast Guard.
I think I listened. I think I listened to this part. I don't think I watched this part. Dude, he should just cut the plane. Secret Service is getting. Does anybody want some cake?
Can you catch?
Thank you all very much.
Oh man. I don't want to get demonetized on YouTube and have to deal with it. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but It's just kind of a pain to deal with. Yeah, that is awesome. The whole thing was fantastic. The whole thing was great. All night long. How do you see the relationship? Should be great. Great. Should be great.
Everybody needs us.
We don't need them. They need us. Goes back to signing. Oh my gosh, I love it. Hey, how do you view the relationship with Latin America? Great. Great. Wonderful. Good. I like Latin America. No, they need us. They need us. We don't need them. They need us. It'll be great. Just classic Trump. Just truly classic Trump. So we secure our border and we put tariffs on it, so now companies come to the U.S., but when the companies come to the U.S., they need to import a bunch of foreigners to work in the companies in the. How is that good for America? So now we have to import a bunch of foreigners to work in the company.
Peter, thank you very much. I may not have seen this for months.
Happy to help with
I left him one in the desk, just like this.
I left him one in the desk.
But it's technology and artificial intelligence, all made in the USA. Beginning immediately, Stargate will be building the physical and virtual infrastructure to power the next generation of advancements in AI, and this will include the construction of colossal data centers, very, very massive structures. I was in the real estate business. These buildings, these are big, beautiful buildings. They're going to employ a lot of people. And physical campuses and locations currently being scouted nationwide. They're making their choices of locations. I think they have their choice. I'd like to ask Larry.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, guess. Yeah. I was gonna go to the White House website and see, like, did they put out the like the president's daily brief? Or I'm sorry, no, not the president's daily brief. The president's daily schedule. Like, dude, I want to, like, every single. Did they have a press? Did the White House have a press conference yet? Remarks, briefings, statements, actions, articles. Holy cow, man. This is fantastic. This is all so good. All these EOs are so good.
Sam and Masa to say a few words and just talk about a little bit about what they're doing, and if you have any questions, and then we'll go into a couple of other subjects also. But this is, to me, a very big thing. $500 billion Stargate project. I think it's going to be something that's very special. It'll lead to something that could be the biggest of all. So, Larry, maybe we'll start with you and we'll go down the line. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. We certainly couldn't do this without you. It would simply be impossible. AI holds incredible promise for all of us, for every American. We've actually been working with OpenAI for a while and with Masa for a while. The data centers are actually under construction. The first of them are under construction in Texas. Each building's 500,000 square feet. There are 10 buildings currently being built, but that will expand to 20, and other locations beyond the Abilene location, which is our first location. The kind of applications that we're building, to give you an idea, maybe the most charismatic and the one that I think touches us all is electronic health records, not just maintaining electronic health records, but by looking at electronic health records, understanding the condition of the doctors better.
That's amazing. That's amazing. This is incredible. 3 of the world's most prominent tech companies are pledging they will pour as much as $500 billion into building AI infrastructure in the U.S. in the latest high-profile initiative timed with the start of the Trump admin. OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle and other partners will start a joint venture called Stargate to build the infrastructure. The companies are committing $100 billion to the venture and planning to invest up to $500 billion over the next 4 years. Its first project will be in Texas. The $100 billion sum includes previously announced projects by the tech companies. The deal is massive, even by Silicon Valley standards, and underscores the extent to which tech companies and government officials are betting on AI as the future of the American economy. Dude, the markets love the news too. The stock market skyrocketed on this news, didn't it? Sam Altman, Masayoshi, and Oracle chairman and CTO Larry Ellison. Wow.
Understanding the condition of their patients and being able to provide healthcare plans that are much better than they otherwise would be. A doctor in Indian River Reservation would be able to see how a doctor at Memorial Sloan Kettering would treat the patient, or a doctor at Stanford would treat the patient. We actually provide all of that information, all of that guidance to the doctors who are treating cancer patients or patients with any other kind of disease, made possible by AI. I'm not going to take a lot of time. I'm going to pass it to
Num, good for you, Num. Congratulations. 30% in one day is unbelievable. You must have had some like hardcore penny stocks that hit it big today. Holy cow, that's huge. That's like unbelievable.
But this is a very exciting program for Oracle to be a part of. Thank you.
What are you guys invested in that went up 30% today? Like, even at NVIDIA went. What did NVIDIA do today? It's up 2% today. What did Palantir do? That's up 2%. Like, how are you up 30% in a day when even the most volatile stocks are up 2%? RKLB, okay. Holy cow. Oh, Rocket Lab. Wow. How much do you have in... Wait, so you have your entire portfolio in Rocket Lab? Why Rocket Lab is skyrocketing. Holy cow, dude. Shares of Rocket Lab are flying. The stock is up 30%. Rocket Lab is benefiting from several catalysts, but chief among them was Trump's announcement that he will prioritize a mission to Mars. Wow. In his inauguration speech, Trump announced his intention to put Americans on Mars, saying it's time for us to once again act with courage, vigor, and the vitality of history's greatest civilization. We will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars. Spent space stock soaring. Wow. Wow. Crap, Num, congratulations. Yes, I can buy a house with cash. No flipping way, Num. Holy cow. How much did you have invested in this? That's insane, dude.
That's good. That's great. I feel tall now. Thank you. Well, Mr. President.
Dude, Num, you must be absolutely on cloud nine. I've been blessed. You must be absolutely on cloud nine right now. Guest says, my biggest wins were Southwest, Verizon, Quad Graphics, and a gold company, AGI. Okay. Wow. Alamos Gold. Dang, man. Yeah, all of these were up. Southwest. Quad Graphics. Man, I haven't heard of that one. Man.
I came to celebrate your winning and promise that we will invest $100 billion. And you told me, oh, Masa, go for 200. Yeah. Now I came back with 500. Because this is the, as you said yesterday, this is the beginning of golden age. Golden age of America. This is one great example, I think. Right? We wouldn't have decided to do this.
And I think so.
This is the beginning of golden age. We wouldn't have decided unless you want. And yesterday we agreed, we signed to make this happen.
It's great.
Because of this day.
Very nice.
So we would make this happen. We would immediately start deploying.
Nice guess.
$100 billion.
Right, TLS.
With the
Yep.
goal of making $500 billion within next 4 years, within your term. Right? Because of your success. So we are very, very excited to do this. And our partner is, of course, SoftBank, OpenAI, Oracle, and additionally investing partner with MGX. On top of that, we have the technology partner, NVIDIA, and of course, Microsoft has been very, very supportive to SAM and continue to support all our success. This is not just for business. As Larry said, this will help people's life. This will help solving many, many issues, difficult things that otherwise we could not have solved with the power of AI. I think AGI is coming very, very soon. And then after that, that's not the goal. After that, artificial super intelligence will come to solve the issues that mankind would never ever have thought that we could solve. Well, this is the
Yes, definitely,
beginning of
definitely.
our golden age. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Fantastic.
I don't have too much to add, but I did want to say I'm thrilled we get to do this in the United States of America. I think this will be the most important project of this era, and as Masa said, for AGI to get built here, to create hundreds of thousands of jobs, to create a new industry centered here. We wouldn't be able to do this without you, Mr. President, and I'm thrilled that we get to. I think it'll be an exciting project. I think we'll be able to do all of the wonderful things that these guys talked about. But the fact that we get to do this in the United States is, I think, wonderful. So thank you very much.
Could you just say one word? I hear so many positive things about what it's going to do for medical research and for solving things, cancer and all the different problems. How will AI help us with the fight against the various problems, diseases, etc.?
These guys can maybe share more about some of the work they're doing there. I think they'll jointly be some of the leaders about driving progress here. But I believe that as this technology progresses, we will see diseases get cured at an unprecedented rate. We will be amazed at how quickly we're curing this cancer and that one and heart disease, and what this will do for the ability to deliver very high quality healthcare, the costs, but really to cure the diseases at a rapid rate, I think will be among the most important things this technology does.
Okay, great. Very good. Thank you.
Can I speak and answer that question, Mr. President? So we're currently working on, should I step on this? Okay, all right. No, I'm not that tall. I'm not that tall. Thank you, Mr. President. One of the most exciting things we're working on, again, using the tools that Sam and Masa are providing, is a cancer vaccine. It's very interesting. It turns out, I'll be quick, all of our cancers, cancer tumors, little fragments of those tumors float around in your blood. So you can do early cancer detection. If you can do using AI, you can do early cancer detection with a blood test. And using AI to look at the blood test, you can find the cancers that are actually seriously threatening the person. So we can, again, cancer diagnosis using AI has the promise of just being a simple blood test.
No, wait. This guy's 80 years old? No. Larry Ellison age. No. Larry Ellison net worth. 200 billion. Holy cow, dude. This guy's like completely plastic then, right? He's had more than just a little Botox, Panzer.
Then beyond that, once we gene sequence that cancer tumor, you can then vaccinate the person, design a vaccine for every individual person to vaccinate them against that cancer. And you can make that vaccine, that mRNA vaccine, you can make that robotically, again using AI, in about 48 hours. So imagine early cancer detection, the development of a cancer vaccine for your particular cancer aimed at you, and have that vaccine available in 48 hours. This is the promise of AI and the promise of the future.
Thank you, sir. Great, thanks. Yeah, just 1 second. We'll finish up. But you know, these are highly respected guys. I was shocked with Larry because I don't even think Larry does this stuff. You did a very good job for a guy that doesn't do it much, right? But he's so respected, and the group, and it's really an honor. But for Larry to be here and do this is very unusual because he doesn't do this stuff. He doesn't need it. He does, and you don't need it, do you? Huh? You don't need it. But I just
he spends millions. He spends millions on the longevity stuff, stem cells, blood fusions. Man, if that's what it is, it looks like it's working. Whoa! Gas gifted a tier 1 sub to TLS. Thank you, Gas. Appreciate it. TLS deserves that. Good one. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
To the country, it's a great honor that this group, these are the top people, that they're going to do it, and they're going to do it here, and we're going to make it as easy as it can be. A $500 million Stargate project comes in addition to a separate pledge between $100 and $200 billion from, as we know, from Massa. We talked about before. Also $20 billion from DMAC, which was great. And we have many others that are coming. Some I just say just announce it. It's easier, but
Rad dude, what's up?
I know them, and they're so highly respected. I'd rather.
Yeah, guitar player. Yeah, has she not done a press briefing yet? Has there not been a White House press briefing? Did they not do a daily press briefing today? White House press briefing today. Was there not one today? No, President Trump just had this one.
Many would like to do it this way, but we're letting the world know what's happening. This is money that normally would have gone to China or other countries, but in particular China. In total, before the end of my first full business day in Washington in the White House, we've already secured nearly $3 trillion.
Wait, what Bishop of DC is a female? What are you talking about? Females in the Christian faith, females are not allowed to be leaders within the church. Like, that's crystal clear in the Bible. What are you talking about? The Bishop of DC being a her and a woke sermon. What's that?
Dollars of new investments in the United States, and probably that's going to be 6 or 7 by the end of the week. Tremendous amounts of money are coming in for.
She said she wasn't doing it because Trump himself spoke to the press today. Oh, okay. Right on.
For many things other than even AI. AI seems to be very hot. It seems to be the thing that a lot of smart people are looking at very strongly. And our country.
Promises made, more promises kept. Ross is free. I just called the mother of Ross Albright and let her know that in honor of her and the libertarian movement, which supported me so strongly, it was my pleasure to have just signed a full and unconditional pardon of her son, Ross. The scum that worked to convict him were some of the same lunatics who were involved in the modern day weaponization of government against me. He was given 2 life sentences plus 40 years. Ridiculous. Wow. Wow. Holy Holy cow, dude. Like, I could see like Donald Trump like pardoning Ed Snowden too. Like, this is unbelievable what Trump is doing. He really is a great president.
Will be prospering like never before. I think that's true, and it's going to be the golden age of America. As I say, yesterday we had the most ambitious, action-oriented day of any administration in history. No, there's never been a first day like yesterday, as you know. I signed a sweeping slate of executive orders to stop the invasion of our borders. I launched a government-wide.
What's your opinion on Trump pardoning Russ Albrecht? I mean, I don't know all there is to know about it. All I know is he created a website called the Silk Road, and then a bunch of criminals used it to commit a bunch of crimes. He says all he did was create a website, and he didn't do any of the actual crimes that people. So I don't know. I mean, if that's all he did was create a website that people use, like, I don't think he should have been convicted criminally, and I support the pardon. Is what I would say.
Effort to defeat inflation and bring down the cost of daily life and bring down the cost of energy, magnificently bring it down. And when energy comes down, Larry, I'd say generally speaking, when energy comes down, everything else comes down. The prices of food and the prices of everything else come down. Energy is that's the big baby. And we declared a national energy emergency to drill, baby, drill. Our term that we use. We're going to drill, baby, drill like never before. We ended destructive.
The libertarians say the DEA agent made up a hit and then they charged him with it and threw the book at him. Huh, okay. A hit as in a plot for murder. Oh, wow. Yes, I mean, yeah, I don't know the first thing about this story then. I really don't know the Ross Ulbricht story then.
DEI mandates across the federal government and returned our country to a merit-based system and a common sense system.
Good.
As you know, the Supreme Court gave us a decision on merit, where things in this country can be based on merit now instead of a lot of different rules, regulations, and things that really put our country at a big disadvantage. We permanently stopped government censorship and restored free speech. That was signed yesterday. We renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. Sounds so beautiful, the Gulf of America, and returned the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley. They took off the name, and he was actually a great president. He was a very, very successful businessman. He ran for governor of Ohio. He won and did a great job as governor, ran for president, and he won. He was assassinated, ultimately, in his second term, unfortunately. But he was the tariff king, and I don't think he was as bad as I am. I think I believe in him even more than him, but he believed in him very strongly. And he raised massive amounts of money. Our country was at its richest. From 1870 to 1913, we had the most. That was when we were the richest, relatively speaking. We were the richest during that period of time. That was tariffs from other countries. And our administration's moving with unprecedented urgency and speed to confront every single crisis facing us, and we'll get the job done. And again, I want to thank Sam and Masa and Larry for being here. It's an honor to have them.
Sam Altman was the absolute worst public speaker. He seems so just like so scared. I don't know.
And we'll take a few questions if you want.
About some of the executive orders, you would agree that it's never acceptable to assault a police officer,
Sure.
right?
Sure. Oh, so I hope, I really hope that Trump hits him with equal protection here. Trump says, hey, have you ever heard of equal protection? Have you ever heard of a little constitutional guarantee called equal protection?
Which again deals with the southern border and the unprecedented admission of illegal aliens across the southern border.
I love how I love these signing ceremonies because Donald Trump is not actually let me just throw up a couple of clips here. If you guys remember these from yesterday, you remember the good times. Nice.
We're entering EEZ. Oh yeah, we're pretty close to Indiana. You want to relax? There's. We're entering EEZ. Oh yeah, we're pretty close to Indiana. You want to relax? There's. We're pretty close to Indiana. You want to relax? There's. We're entering EEZ. Oh yeah, we're pretty close to Indiana. You want to relax? There's. We're entering EEZ. Oh yeah, we're pretty close to Indiana. You want to relax? There's.
There's the gas station. There's the gas station. Get out, boys. Get out. I love it when I role play like that. I love it when I role play like that and people just laugh and just they're like, what? All right, let's see what Trump hits them with.
So then if I can, among those you pardoned, DJ Rodriguez, he drove a stun gun into the neck of a DC police officer who was abducted by the mob that day. He later confessed on video to the FBI and pleaded guilty for his crimes. Why does he deserve a pardon?
Well, I don't know. Was it a pardon? Because we're looking at commutes and we're looking at pardons. Okay, well, we'll take a look at everything. But I can say this. Murderers today are not even charged. You have murderers that aren't charged all over. You take a look at what's gone on in Philadelphia. Take a look at what's gone on in L.A., where people murder people. And
so if you guys aren't recognized, that's equal protection. Trump's response is an equal protection response. He's saying, look, there's got to be fairness and equal protection here. Trump's not saying equal protection, but that's what he's getting at.
They don't get charged. These people have already served years in prison, and they've served them viciously.
Is it not?
It's a disgusting prison. It's been horrible. It's inhumane. It's been a terrible, terrible thing. I also say
He should.
You go to Portland.
Dude, Donald Trump should pardon George Santos. George Santos lied to get into Congress. Oh my gosh, wow, a politician's never done that before. Again, we don't condone this behavior, but we just want everybody treated equally here.
Where they wrapped police officers, shot police officers, nothing happened to anybody. You go to Seattle, where they took over a big chunk of the city and people died. Portland, a lot of people died. Wait a minute. And you go also, take a look at Minneapolis, because I was there and I watched it. And if I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city wouldn't even exist today. People were killed and nobody went to jail. So these people have already served a long period of time, and I made a decision to give a pardon. Joe Biden gave a pardon yesterday to a lot of criminals. These are criminals that he gave a pardon to. And you should be asking that question. Why did he give a pardon to all of these people that committed crimes? Why did he give a pardon to the J6 Unselect Committee when they burned and destroyed all documents which showed that they did what was wrong, not me? Wait a minute. Why did they give a pardon to all of his relatives, his brother who made millions of dollars, to all these different people? He gave pardons. That's the question you should be answering. All right.
Yeah, really good. Great. I love Trump's hands. Oh, it's so good.
About your
Steve, can I just follow up that really fast?
No.
I just want to ask
Go
you
ahead.
this. You said you will.
Tell us about your meeting with Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune. Did you reach any conclusion on this one big
Pretty much.
statement
I think
bill?
we have a good situation now. It's been in some ways made simpler by Los Angeles because they're going to need a lot of money. And generally speaking, I think you'll find that a lot of Democrats are going to be asking for help. So I think maybe that makes it more one-sided. I think we're going to do very well. Look, we're going to take care of Los Angeles. I'm going there. I'm going to North Carolina, which has been abandoned by the Democrats. And I'm going to North Carolina, very importantly, first. I'll be there on Friday. And then I'm going from there to Los Angeles. And then I'm going to Nevada. And I'm really going to Nevada to thank them for the vote, because we won Nevada overwhelmingly. And that's usually a Democrat vote. And I just want to go there to thank the people of Nevada for the big vote. So we'll be making that. Yeah, please.
Yes, a rally on Friday, boys.
Were freed following the pardons yesterday. At the time, back in 2021, you urged them to stand back and stand by. Is there now a place for them in the political conversation?
Well, we have to see they've been given a pardon. I thought their sentences were ridiculous and excessive. One of the guys took down a flag that was an anti-American flag, and he was given years in jail. I don't know the exact number, but he was given many years in jail. I thought it was very excessive. And at least the cases that we looked at, these were people that actually love our country, so we thought a pardon would be appropriate, yeah.
Mr. President, is it also true in your conversations with Republicans today that you asked them to consider recess appointments for cabinet officials?
I think, yeah, if it's needed. I don't think it's going to be needed. Marco, as you know, got passed overwhelmingly with 99 to nothing, which is pretty amazing. Marco's going to do a great job. Secretary of State, but he just got, I guess he was the first one and just got approved. That's some vote, 99 to nothing, and the nothing was a vote that he would have gotten if we wanted to do it. But you know whose vote that was? Who's doing a great job right now as vice president.
Did you also talk about some sort of a trade or a deal involving wildfire relief in extension for a debt?
Well, what I really want to have done, I was talking about this with the guys back in the Oval Office. Los Angeles has massive amounts of water available to it. All they have to do is turn the valve, and that's the valve coming back from and down from the Pacific Northwest, where millions of gallons of water a week and a day, even in many cases, pours into California, goes all through California down to Los Angeles, and they turned it off. It's off now. The valve goes, it turns toward the Pacific Ocean, and all that water goes pouring into the Pacific Ocean. If they did what I told them to do, they wouldn't do it because politically they didn't think it was good. I think it's great politically. I think they're dead politically. What they've done, they've destroyed the city. What they've done,
that's insane. They actually literally will not allow water to go to Los Angeles, and instead they just pump it into or just allow it to flow into the ocean, all to save some like random fish that lives in the Delta. Like, wow, that truly is anti-human.
to that city is unbelievable. The sprinklers, there's sprinklers in there like these right here that you see. None of them had any water in them. They didn't have any water. The fire hydrants, 40% of them had no water. The brush was soaked, was just dry. Everything was dry. The sprinklers on the lawn weren't allowed to even be used. So, you know, everything was dry, and it was an inferno. They created an inferno. So we're demanding that they turn the valve back toward Los Angeles right now. It's not even believable that they haven't done it. Just so you know, they have a valve, and it turns like, think of a sink, but multiply it times many thousands of times the size of it. It's massive.
Pardoning people who attack police is like saying it's okay to attack people. No, it's not. And if that's how you read that, you're badly mistaken, to put it kindly.
And you turn it back toward Los Angeles. Why aren't they doing it?
Right, Panzer.
They either
It's
have a
insane.
death wish, they're stupid, or there's something else going on that we don't understand. But we want the water that they're throwing away to be used for California. And that includes the farmers of California. You know, when you drive up north, you see all of the land. I couldn't believe it. I was with Devin Nunes when he was a congressman and some other congressmen from the area, and we're driving up and we're on the highway, and I keep looking at these farms, and the land is bone dry, and then you
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, guys. Dude, this Elgato frickin' thing. I'm restarting it. I'm restarting it.
President, you're a president who has long said that you back the blue, but
Hey, Num. I've got an AverMedia capture card. Punk. What do you think I'm using to capture my Lumix GH4 video right now?
aren't you sending the message that assaulting officers is okay with these pardons?
No, the opposite. In fact, I'm going to be letting 2 officers from Washington Police, D.C. I believe they're from D.C., but I just approved it.
But no, I should get a second AverMedia capture card and stop using this. Dude, honestly, here's the deal. Actually, I just mentioned this to the wife earlier this month. I actually really need to build a new computer. My CPU is getting old and I can't run what the frick? I can't run Microsoft Flight Simulator at max settings with good frames. And I also need to upgrade my monitor and stuff. So I really need to spend like $3,000 or $4,000 on building a new PC, and getting new monitors and everything else for the stream. And so as part of that, I will be moving to more AverMedia capture cards instead of Elgato, because yeah, this is just whack.
Sending the message that assaulting officers is okay with these.
In terms of the permits and everything else, but
these media are such scum. Does this mean assaulting an officer is okay? No, you idiot. That's not how pardons work. That's not how equal protection works. That's not how Constitution works. That's not how fair treatment works, you jerks, you idiots. Also, why don't you ask those questions about Joe Biden's pardons, which are 1,000 times more corrupt? We actually witnessed the most corrupt use of the pardon and the least corrupt use of the pardon on the same day. One by Biden, one by Trump. Don't give me this crap arguing against Trump's pardons. Lecture bullies. No. Oh, nice. Okay. Got an AverMedia capture card. Oh, I find that absolutely hysterical. I am sorry, but hey, Num, I've got an AverMedia capture card. Oh man, that is absolutely hilarious. Let me see. Oh wow. Oh wow. No flipping way, dude. Holy smokes, dude. One of these popped big time. Holy cow. Trump, Anwar, Trump. It's all these Trump ones, dude. Wow. And these are all monetizable too. All of those Trump shorts I'm posting are fully monetized. Yeah, they're all fully monetized. This one got limited for ad suitability reasons. Dude, that is awesome. Okay. Lecture bullies. Num. Oh, nice. Here we go. Num, you got a clip for me too. Awesome. Thank you, Num. Holy cow.
permits and everything else, but
these media are such scum. Does this mean assaulting an officer is okay? No, you idiot. That's not how pardons work. That's not how equal protection works. That's not how Constitution works. That's oh, that's a bad layout. Oh, that's not how fair treatment works. you jerks, you idiots. Oh man, oh man. Okay, let's see. Share, YouTube, Shorts. Also, why don't you ask those questions about... What would be better to post onto X, do you think? The landscape or the portrait version? Probably landscape, right? What do you guys think would be better to post on X, landscape or portrait versions? These are all going up on YouTube as... This one just went up on YouTube as... the media doesn't know how pardons work. Lecture bullies numb. Dude, this is crazy. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this view spike. I'm up to 3,500 views now on that. Downloads. But these media are such
permits and everything else. But
these media are such scum. Does this mean assaulting and offers okay? No, you idiot. That's not how pardons work. That's not how equal protection works. That's not how Constitution works. That's not how fair treatment works, you jerks, you idiots. Also, why don't you ask those questions about Joe Biden's pardons, which are 1,000 times more corrupt? We actually witnessed the most corrupt use of the pardon and the least corrupt use of the pardon on the same day. One by Biden, one by Trump. Don't give me this crap arguing against Trump's Bidens.
and everything else. But
these... I like how the ending of it's me like laughing about it.
permits and everything else. But
these media are such scum. Does this mean assaulting and offers okay? No, you idiot. That's not how pardons work. Okay, done. Enough time. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
So think of it. You have an asset that has no value or has $1 trillion value. It all depends on whether or not...
I don't want to see the woke Bishop guitar player. Thank you, but no thank you.
The United States gives the permit. So what I'm saying is let the United States give the permit, and the United States should get half. Sounds reasonable. What do you think?
Sounds like a good deal to me, Mr. President.
Yeah, he can afford it too.
Mr. President, you're a president who has long said that you back the blue, but aren't you sending the message that assaulting officers is okay with these pardons?
No, the opposite. In fact, I'm going to be letting 2 officers from Washington Police, D.C. I believe they're from D.C., but I just approved it. They were arrested, put in jail for 5 years because they went after an illegal, and I guess something happened where something went wrong, and they arrested the 2 officers and put them in jail for going after a criminal, a rough criminal, by the way. And I'm actually releasing. No, I am the friend of police more than any president that's ever been in this office.
Hold on, who said call me a punk next lecture? Oh, I can do that, Eric. I can do that if you want that. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, that sounds awesome. Thank you. Oh, awesome. I'm excited.
100 of the people that you pardoned, though, assaulted officers. So I want to ask you about the Vice President, J.D. Vance. He said, this is a week ago, he said, if you committed violence on January 6th, obviously you should not be pardoned. Why is your Vice President wrong?
Well, only for one reason. They've served years in jail. They should not have served, excuse me, and they've served years in jail, and murderers don't even go to jail in this country. And we had 1,500.
Yeah, so it's called equal protection. Why doesn't Trump just say, why don't Trump's advisors tell him to bring up equal protection and teach these people a lesson? Trump probably is like, oh, I know. I'm not going to say that. I don't care about that.
16 under review. As you know, we commuted about 16 of them because it looks like they could have done things that were not acceptable for a full pardon. But these people have served years of jail, and their lives have been ruined. And in many cases, listen to me for a second. Stop interrupting. They've served years in jail, and if you look at the American public is tired of it. Take a look at the election. Just look at the numbers on the election. We won this election in a landslide because the American public is tired of people like you that are just one-sided, horrible people in terms of crime. You don't talk about all the people that have been killed and what happens to those murderers. Murderers get no time. You take a look at some of these DAs. They go after political opponents, but they don't go after people that shoot people in the street. They're caught. They know where they're living. They know everything. They don't even go up to pick them up anymore. They just let them live there. They know all about it. They have their pictures. They have the tape of the shooting, and they don't even go up and you're talking about this. No, we pardoned people that were treated unbelievably poorly. In the history of our country, there's never been anything take place like this. They're still looking for them, but they're not looking for the murderers, the people that are killing everybody. We are, though. And we're getting them out of the country. We just started that. We're getting them out of the country, and they're going to be gotten out of the country fast. They came in illegally from jails and from prisons. They killed many people. Some of them killed many people. About 50% of them killed more than one person. They were released into our country. That's what we're focused on, not the kind of nonsense you're talking about.
You've called for a ceasefire in Ukraine. If Vladimir Putin doesn't come to the table to negotiate with you, will you put additional sanctions on Russia?
Sounds likely.
And do you think that the war should be frozen currently along
The
with
war
the
should have never started. If you had a competent president, which you didn't, the war wouldn't have happened. The war in Ukraine would have never happened if I were president. But that couldn't happen because the election was rigged. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. President, there's been some debate within your orbit over whether or not to keep or eliminate H-1B visas. What's your position on that? Do you want to keep H-1Bs or do you want to get rid of them?
I like both sides of the argument, but I also like very competent people coming into our country, even if that involves them training and helping other people that may not have the qualifications they do. But I don't want to stop. And I'm not just talking about engineers. I'm talking about people at all levels. We want competent people coming into our country. And HB1, I know the program very well. I use the program. Maitre d's, wine, experts, even waiters, high quality waiters. You got to get the best people. Now, then you go into people like Larry, and he needs engineers, and Massa needs, and this gentleman needs engineers like nobody's ever needed engineers, right? So we have to have the quality people coming in. Now, by doing that, we're expanding businesses, and that takes care of everybody. So I'm sort of on both sides of the argument, but what I really do feel is that we have to let really competent people, great people come into our country, and we do that through the H-1 program.
Mr. President, are you looking to impose tariffs on Canada and Mexico in an effort to force negotiations sooner on USMCA?
No, it's really not on USMCA. It has nothing to do with that. They've allowed, both of them, Canada very much so, they've allowed millions and millions of people to come into our country that shouldn't be here. They could have stopped them, and they didn't. And they've killed 300,000 people last year, my opinion, have been destroyed by drugs, by fentanyl. The fentanyl coming through Canada is massive. The fentanyl coming through Mexico is massive. And people are getting killed, and families are being destroyed. I mean, the son gets killed, and the family is a basket case for the rest of their lives. I mean, I've seen mothers that thought they'd heal they never heal. They say it gets worse with time. It gets worse with time. They lose their boy, they lose their baby, they lose their young daughter to fentanyl poisoning. And I had that talk with President Xi the other day, too, of China. I said, we don't want that crap in our country. We got to stop it. I would have stopped it. I had a deal with him where he was going to give the maximum penalty, which in China is the death penalty for drug dealing. And he was all set. He was going to give the maximum penalty to fentanyl dealers. If they send to the United States, they were going to get the death penalty. And of course, Biden didn't pick that up. I had that deal all done. It was all wrapped up. We were going to have it done. And then the election went, let's put it nicely, didn't go the proper way. I'm trying to be nice about it. It was rigged. And we had an incompetent president elected, and he never followed up on that.
Amazing.
But he should have followed up. Because if they got the death penalty, they wouldn't be sending fentanyl to Mexico, Canada, and other places.
How much will the tariffs on China be, Mr. President? How much will the tariffs?
We're thinking about that too. We're talking about a tariff of 10% on China based on the fact that they're sending fentanyl to Mexico and Canada.
When will you get
How soon on those tariffs?
Probably February 1st is the date we're looking at. For Mexico and China, we're talking about approximately 25%.
Do you have an update on the Gaza ceasefire, and are you planning to travel to the Middle East soon?
We're thinking about going to the Middle East, not yet. We have a thing called the hostages are coming back going on right now, and they are coming back. Some of them have been very damaged. You look at the young lady with her hand practically blown off. You know how that happened, right? Did you know how that happened? When you find out, you're not going to be too happy because it was terrible. But the hostages are starting to come back. If I weren't here, they wouldn't be back ever. They would have never come back. They would have all died. If this were done a year earlier, if Biden would have done this deal a year and a half, 2 years ago, or frankly, it should have never happened. October 7th should have never happened. Nobody should be dead. But through weakness, they allowed it to happen, and then it was a disaster from there. But you go back just 6 months ago, many of these young people were living. Young people don't die like that. They're just dying. And young people aren't dying at 22 and 23 years old. They don't die. But now they're dying, and you wonder why they're dying. They're being killed, and they have been killed. But they say 6 months ago, you would have had 11 more living hostages. Think of that. 6 months ago, but Biden couldn't get it done, and it was only the imposition that I put on as a deadline that got it done. But it's a very sad situation. It should have never happened. I'll tell you, 2 things should have never happened. 3 things. Inflation should have never happened. It would have never happened, except for what they did to energy and their crazy spending. And Ukraine would have never happened. Never. By the way, Russia never would have gone into Ukraine. I had a very strong understanding with Putin that it would have never, ever happened. He disrespected Biden. Very simple. He disrespects people. He's smart. He understands. He disrespected Biden. And also, the Middle East would have never happened because Iran was broke. They had no money. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. It would have never happened. October 7th would have never happened. But it did happen. So this is the cards I've been given. And we're getting the hostages back. That would have never happened under Biden. They would have never come back. They were just dying not that slowly.
All right, boys, I'm done eating. Sorry about that. Whew. I just ate over half of that pizza.
They were dying or being killed. But that was what was happening.
Mr. President, are you going to keep sending weapons to Ukraine, or are you going to turn off the tap soon?
Well, we're looking at that. We're talking.
No, I did not know that guitar player. I agree with eliminating that.
Into Zelensky. We're going to be talking with President Putin very soon, and we'll see how it all happens. We're going to look at it one thing I do feel, the European Union should be paying a lot more than they're paying, because under Biden, I mean, we're in there for $200 billion more. Now, it affects them more than it affects us. We have an ocean in between, right? Little thing called an ocean. The European Union should equalize. We're in there for $200 billion more than the European Union. I mean, what are we, stupid? I guess the answer is yes, because they must think so. But the European Union takes advantage of us tremendously on trade. and they now take advantage of, and always have. If I didn't get involved years ago, my first term, one of the first things I noticed was that they're not paying enough. They're not paying, and a lot of those countries weren't even paying. The NATO countries, they weren't paying. Only 7 out of 28 were paying. We were one of them.
Woo.
And Poland was one, and they had a few of them that were paying, and some were paying very proudly. Usually, the closer to the borderline of Russia they were, the faster they paid, okay? The ones that were further away tended not to pay so fast. And one thing on that, I think they should lift their number not to 2%, but to 5%. NATO should be at 5%, not at 2%. 2% is ridiculous.
Did you ask President Xi in your conversation about Ukraine? Did you ask him to get involved in helping settle that? Can you tell us about that?
I did, yeah. I said, you ought to get it settled, because he's not done very much on that. He's got a lot of power, like we have a lot of power. I said, you ought to get it settled. We did discuss it, yeah.
Mr. President, you launched a crypto coin the other day. Do you intend to continue selling products that benefit yourself personally while you're president?
Well, I don't know if it benefited. I don't know where it is. I don't know much about it other than I launched it. I heard it was very successful. I haven't checked it. Where is it today?
You made a lot of money, sir.
How much?
Several $1 billion, it seems like, in the last several days.
Several billion? That's peanuts for these guys.
Several billion, that's peanuts for these guys.
Yeah, he wrote me a nice letter. I mean, I did open it last night. And I didn't know. Peter said, did you get the letter? I said, wait a minute, let's see the letter. It's sort of a tradition. You put it in the drawer, especially of the beautiful Resolute desk, right? And I opened the drawer, and there it was. It said to number 47. And it was a very nice letter. I mean, I could show it because I think it was a nice letter. Maybe I will. I think
Message-wise, what do you say in terms of
just basically, it was a little bit of an inspirational type letter, you know. Enjoy it, do a good job. Important, very important, how important the job is. But I think it was a nice letter.
It's unbelievable, Vinny Linguini. I think the quality, like my enjoyment of politics is back. It's been so miserable having to try to watch like Joe Biden speak or watch KJP speak. Like this is going to be so much fun watching the Trump presidency.
I think I should let people see it because it was a positive for him in writing it. I appreciated the letter.
Mr. President, were security concerns at all a factor when deciding to move your inauguration indoors?
No, not at all. No, not at all. It was just cold. Look, if we would have, you know, I just went out to the helicopter, right, we said goodbye. That's a tradition. As long as before it used to be a stagecoach, and then helicopters came along. But that's been a tradition. You go out and you do that. And we stood there for
Ariel, what's up, Ariel? All right, thanks. I'm bringing the audio back. Bringing audio back.
People wanting to do it there rather than outside.
Why did you remove John Bolton's security clearance, sir?
Because I think that was enough time. It's we take a job. You take a job. You want to do a job. We're not going to have security on people for the rest of their lives. Why should we? I thought he was a very dumb person, but I used him well because every time people saw me come into a meeting with John Bolton standing behind me, they thought that he'd attack them because he was a warmonger. He's the one that got us involved, along with Cheney and a couple of others, convinced Bush, which was a terrible decision, to blow up the Middle East. You know, we blew up the Middle East and we left. We got nothing out of it except a lot of death. We killed a lot of people, and John Bolton was, one of those guys, a stupid guy. But no, you can't have that for life. You shouldn't expect it for life.
Sir, that meeting that you mentioned with President Zelensky, will that take place here, and when and where will you meet with him?
I don't know. I mean, look, President Zelensky would like to have peace. He's told me that very strongly. He'd like to have peace, but it takes two to tango. We'll
Yeah,
see.
the reason I keep losing sound is because my 4K capture utility, my Elgato 4K capture utility keeps crashing. That's exactly why I'm losing audio.
See what happens.
When will you meet with President Putin?
Anytime they want, I'll meet. I'd like to see that end. Millions of people are being killed, and they're being killed. It's a vicious situation.
Oh, I know,
Now
Ariel.
largely
Yeah, exactly,
soldiers. A lot of
Ariel. Yep.
People have been killed in the cities. They look like demolition sites. Buildings, massive buildings bombed and coming down. The thing with Ukraine is that many more people died than you're reporting. You're not reporting the real numbers, and I'm not blaming you for that. I'm blaming maybe our government for not wanting to release those numbers. Many more people died than what you know about. When those big buildings come down and they say 2 people were injured, no. Many people, thousands of people are being killed. But the real killing now is on the war front. It's a very flat land. And the only thing that stops a bullet is somebody's body. And you have young soldiers. So Russia's lost about 800,000 soldiers now. Ukraine's lost about 600 or 700,000. I think the numbers are low that they're giving out. But they've lost massive numbers of young soldiers. And that war should stop. It's very flat. It's beautiful farmland, and it's flat and really beautiful in a different kind of a way, but they don't have any protection. The only thing that stops a bullet is a body. And those bodies are stopping a lot of bullets, and they're being decimated, both sides.
Going back to your conversation with President Xi, what did you tell him in terms of when to expect tariffs? And what can he do to avoid it?
About which one? About tariffs? We didn't talk too much about tariffs, other than he knows where I stand. Look, I put large tariffs on China. I've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars. Until I was president, China never paid not 10 cents to the United States. With me, they paid hundreds of $600 billion or so, or more than that even, of tariffs. And if I didn't do that, you wouldn't have a steel mill open in the United States right now. You wouldn't have one steel mill open in the United States. So what I did is I saved the steel industry. I saved other industries too with other tariffs. Other countries.
Dude, these reporters are eventually going to just have to start realizing that no matter what question you ask Trump, he's just going to use it as an opportunity to say all these wonderful things about how wonderful he is. No matter what.
These are big abusers also. It's not just China. China's an abuser, but the European Union is very, very bad to us. They treat us very, very badly. They don't take our cars.
I have no idea. Yeah. Altair, the only reason why, Altair, that these former intelligence officials get to keep their security clearances is because they're all a big part of a club, right? They're all a big part of a club, and they're the ones that they try to control the media narrative by saying we have, sources in intelligence, and they do have more information than most people out there, but they manipulate it and use it in bad faith and wrongfully and lie about it all the time. That's the problem. And so we've got a major issue here.
They don't take our cars at all. They don't take our farm products, essentially. They don't take very much. We have a $350 billion deficit with the European Union. They treat us very, very badly. So they're going to be in for tariffs.
Mr. President.
It's the only way you're going to get back. It's the only way you're going to get fairness. You can't get fairness unless you do that. But the European Union's treated us very badly. But essentially, everybody treats us badly. Everybody treats us badly. Yes, go ahead. Because we allow them to. Because we've had stupid people doing this, and we can't have. I'd like to have these 3 people negotiate for us, just for 1 week, and we'd be a rich country again. But we'll be rich.
Mr. President, on AI data centers, will you rescind President Biden's executive order that opens up federal land?
On which centers?
On data centers. Will you rescind President Biden's executive order that opens up federal lands for data centers and energy production?
No, I wouldn't do that. That sounds to me like it's something that I would like. I'd like to see federal lands opened up for data centers. I think they're going to be very important. Again, we have a lot of competition for that. So it's an honor to have these 3 great people, great CEOs and great geniuses, all 3, It's an honor that they want to come to our country, but we're going to make it as easy as we can for them because other countries want them to. I'm going to have to go now. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Do you have TikTok on your phone?
No, but I think I might put it there. I think I'll get it right now. By the way, again, we won the young vote. I think I won it through TikTok. So I have a warm spot in my heart for TikTok. Okay? Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Mr. President.
Dude, do I need to just get what video capture version do you have? I think I just recently updated it. I'll tell you though. Let's see. I have version 1.7.14. 1.7.14. Are there updates for it? Let's see. Check for updates. You're up to date. Yeah, it says I'm up to date. It says I'm up to date on my 4K capture utility. My video, well, I probably could update my video drivers on this PC. Trump, I do think, I guess I need to just get TikTok on. Trump obviously wants TikTok to stay, and it's going to stay. The latest version is 2.0.9. Why is it telling me I'm up to date then on here? When I say check for updates, it says 4K capture utility is currently the newest version available, 1.7.14. Huh. All right. Maybe I'll re-download it. Maybe I'll just uninstall it and go to the website and get the latest download and see if that fixes it. Appreciate the help if that fixes it. I would say to Trump that he should not, though. He should not answer questions after he starts walking away. Like, end the press conference and leaves. If you still want to take questions, freaking stay at the mic and don't end the press conference. Don't do what Biden does, which is end the press conference and then answer questions after you've already walked away from the mic as you're trying to leave. I did, conservative Irk. Yeah, with the swords. Yeah, that was awesome. No. Hey guys. All right. I'm new here. What should I do? I'm new.
Bro, we're a team. Just don't kill civilians.
All right.
You don't want to be turned into a renegade.
All right. Okay. Dude, should I just get TikTok or what? This is the nerdiest car. I can't believe you nerds drive this thing.
What, the wheelies Jeep? Don't talk shit about the fucking wheelies Jeep, dude. Alright, that's it. We're charging the guy in the lab coat for insult, dude. You just called the car. If I find anything. I don't even think I have anything, so you're good. Alright, I got you. I can't even fucking look. Alright.
Bro, why do you have him? Why do you have him in the bathroom, you perv?
Because this is the safest place for me to charge them, bro. Back up for me.
All right. Sorry. I'll add it. I'm out of here.
Thank you, brother. You're good. Alright, dude, look.
Should I play some more Arm of Life? Well, unleash me then. I don't even have a gun on me, bro. Like, jeez.
I am unleashing you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Who,
but
me?
I accidentally tased him and it was like really bad.
Bro, yeah, and that hurt, dude. I have a medical condition. Oh man. Well, what else happened? It shows how much tech executives want to broadcast their enthusiasm at the start of the new admin. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, SoftBank Group CEO Masayoshi Son, and Oracle Chairman and CTO Larry Ellison. Oh, that was all their article was. Trump gives TikTok an illegal amnesty. The end of the global tax affair. Dude, I'm surprised the editorial board's going in on Trump for the TikTok thing. President Trump took the oath of office Monday, promising to faithfully execute the duties of his office, which include implementing the laws passed by Congress. Yet one of his first acts as president, Trump suspended a law requiring TikTok divest from its Chinese owners by ByteDance by January 19th. Trump issued an executive order on Monday promising not to enforce the law's penalties against tech companies that host the TikTok Act for 75 days. He said he needs this time to consult with advisors on the national security concerns posed by TikTok and to pursue a resolution that saves the platform. Congress spent years studying the security concerns and resolved them with the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act, which passed with large majorities last spring. The law lets the president grant a one-time 90-day reprieve from a ban if TikTok demonstrates the path to executing a qualified divestiture, evidence of significant progress, and relevant legal agreements to enable its execution. None of these conditions have been met. Mike Waltz, Trump's national security advisor, on Sunday cited interest in buying TikTok from investor Kevin O'Leary, but there's no formal offer and no interest in such a deal. Most popular news. KPMG wants to be the first accounting giant to own a U.S. law firm. Here's why. Putin's torturers couldn't break these Ukrainian prisoners. Hegseth routinely passed out from alcohol abuse, witness says. They cared for each other into their 80s, and he shot her and killed himself. Trump pardons nearly all 1,500 January 6 rioters. While challenging the law in court, TikTok rebuffed potential suitors. Beijing effectively blocked the deal by imposing export controls on its algorithms, which it treats as state secrets. After losing at the Supreme Court Friday, TikTok and Beijing have shown a seeming openness to a deal. Trump floated a joint venture in which the U.S. would have a 50% stake. It isn't clear if he meant the U.S. government or private investors would own the American 50%, but it's illegal either way. The law precludes the establishment or maintenance of any operational relationship between TikTok's U.S. operations and any formerly affiliated entities like ByteDance that are controlled by a foreign adversary, including any cooperation with respect to the operation of a content recommendation algorithm or an agreement with respect to data sharing. In other words, TikTok must sever all ties with ByteDance in China. Mr. Trump can't suspend laws like an English king before the 1689 Bill of Rights. It's true that Barack Obama and Joe Biden refused to enforce some laws, but Mr. Trump just told the country he's different. Congress is a co-equal branch of government, not a subsidiary of the president. Members passed a law after finding TikTok was collecting user data that would let Beijing spy on Americans. And now he's canoodling with CEO Shi Zhaochu, who was spotted at the inauguration next to Tulsi Gabbard, the president's nominee for Director of National Intelligence of all people. Talk about a horrible signal. Mr. Trump is relaying that he puts pleasing China Xi Jinping above a law passed by Congress. Trump also promised not to enforce the law's penalties on tech firms that carry TikTok, which can reach up to $850 billion. He directed his attorney general to issue a letter granting broad immunity providers that continue hosting TikTok. Whoa! Cat Willison has become a member on my YouTube. Wow. First ever member on my YouTube channel. Holy cow. Dude, that's freaking awesome. What is going on with my YouTube channel? Wow. Okay. Huh. Cool. Oh my gosh, look at, I have so many more clips to put up. Mr. Trump can't rewrite the law by decree, and such a letter wouldn't excuse companies like Apple, Google, and Oracle from complying. Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton warned Sunday any company that hosts, distributes services, or otherwise facilitates communist-controlled TikTok could face hundreds of billions of dollars of ruinous liability under the law. He's right. State attorneys general could sue tech companies for putting their citizens' data at risk. Shareholders could sue the companies for risking ruinous penalties if they fail to comply with the law. Trump directed his AG to defend the executive's exclusive authority to enforce the act, but the Justice Department can't stop others from suing. Trump's TikTok order shows a Biden-like disdain for limits on his power that doesn't bode well for the next 4 years. Hard to disagree with that. Hard to disagree with the editorial board on that one. Dude, what? Gaza ceasefire brings show of force by Hamas. So now Hamas are openly running around in the streets?
This store doesn't have any.
I saw that, Kane Marco. Pretty cool.
Yes.
There you go, Hydra. Yep, exactly, Hydra.
Hey, bud. What do you think? You know, people can see you out here.
I love I pay for Wall Street Journal and then they also hit me with ads. Bastards.
Agent Force helps retailers prevent fashion fails. It's what AI was meant to be.
That's insanity, man. Well, no, oh yeah, so here's the crazy thing about this, Alter. I was kind of like, everybody's always wondering, like, wait, how is Hamas able to keep functioning? Well, Hamas is able to keep functioning because they have a unlimited supply of new recruits. They can just go to the civilian population in Gaza, and all of the all of the men and basically most of the women, then therefore too, all support Hamas and want to join Hamas and stuff. So Hamas can just keep replenishing their recruits as Israel wipes them out. Pretty crazy when you think about it that way. Right, Altair, right. I'm surprised I thought they like. Oh, are these Palestinians? Oh, they're showing Palestinians getting reunited, not the Jews, or what? I don't get that. Okay, whatever. What's this about? KPMG is poised to break through a long-time barrier and become the first Big Four accounting firm to practice law in the U.S., leveraging a novel Arizona program that allows non-lawyers to own law firms. State approval for KPMG's law ambitions is expected as soon as this month, a move that could usher in a sea change in two industries. KPMG says its Arizona licensed lawyers could perform legal work for clients around the country. That could give it a leg up on its accounting rivals and send a shot across the bow to law firms, which would face new competition for work. KPMG is taking advantage of a program in Arizona which lifted a restriction in place in nearly every state that prohibits non-lawyers from owning a law firm. The program, in place since 2021, aimed to expand access to legal services, in large part to address a dearth of lawyers available to help with issues. The accounting firm's attempt to create its own law firm passed a significant hurdle when the Arizona committee that oversees the program unanimously approved the request last week. The company said it wants to offer large-scale services such as drafting and updating contracts and reconciling legal materials in merger and acquisition deals. KPMG sees this as an opportunity to streamline and expand the work it does for clients while allowing it to use AI tools to perform work that would otherwise be outsourced to a traditional law firm. The company said it wants to offer large-scale services such as drafting and updating contracts and reconciling legal materials in merger and acquisition deals. streamline and expand the work it does for clients, allowing it to use AI. We believe the types of services we're going to bring to market, assuming we get our final permission, are very much adjacent to services we provide today and really address the client point head on. The Arizona Supreme Court will consider final approval for KPMG law later this month. The High Court has signed off on all of the applications recommended by the committee, but occasionally has sent an application back for more questions. KPMG already practices law in roughly 80 countries, including the UK and Australia. Those businesses have grown in part through acquisitions of small and mid-sized law firms. The U.S. represents the largest law market in the world. This is just more frosting on the cake for KPMG and the firm trying to get a big piece of the law marketplace. KPMG is the smallest of the big four with $38 billion in global revenue for fiscal 24. Tax and legal was its fastest growing division for the year, growing 10% to almost $9 billion globally. It won't be long before PricewaterhouseCoopers, Deloitte, and Ernst & Young follow KPMG in seeking to expand their legal offerings, Big Four observers say. EY declined to comment while PwC and Deloitte didn't respond. It's highly likely the other Big Four firms will follow suit if KPMG decides to make a serious investment of hundreds of millions of dollars in that market. The accounting giants could face a long road in establishing thriving legal practices. In the UK, KPMG, PwC, and EY have been able to practice law since 2014, followed by Deloitte in 18, but they're still working to gain ground. A partner at a London-based law firm, Fox Williams. The firms have a foothold in legal advisory work, but I don't view them as having fully realized their ambition because traditional law firms still dominate. KPMG says targeted ambitions in the U.S. We're not envisioning being a full-service law firm as big traditional law is, but rather being a player in those handful of areas that are connected to our legacy businesses. Arizona has 114 active licenses for non-lawyer-owned firms. Many of them focus on large-scale personal injury and environmental litigation and have attracted investments from hedge funds and private equity firms. Other operations provide legal services from estate planning to online counseling through Rocket Lawyer in limited income clients, estate and vision. The idea of non-lawyers owning firms has been a hotly debated for decades. Critics say lawyers have ethical obligations to their clients. A non-lawyer owner could give priority to profit instead. That's a stupid argument. Richard Lewis, former president of the New York State Bar Association, said KPMG's entry in the legal marketplace would raise concerns and could lead to conflicts of interest. It is a threat to the legal profession. They'll be able to undercut and take shortcuts. They aren't held to the same standards. KPMG says that if and when its Arizona licensed lawyers work in other jurisdictions, it plans to enter into co-counsel relationships with attorneys licensed in other states. This is still a country with 50 states. I'm a little concerned that because of the nature of KPMG's practice, that concept may be forgotten. That's a pretty crazy story. Pete Hegseth routinely passed out from alcohol abuse. Trump's Pentagon pick has denied allegations, calling them part of a smear campaign. Dude, who cares if he used to be an alcoholic? People are alcoholics and then they quit drinking. That doesn't disqualify them from positions. What's the big deal? That's my take anyway. What do you guys think? Once needed to be dragged out of a strip club while in uniform, according to an ex-relative's account of his behavior. The sworn statement was signed by Hegseth's former sister-in-law, Danielle Hegseth. Why is she still named Danielle Hegseth if she's a former sister-in-law? She's not a Hegseth anymore. Whatever. Okay, it states that she was with Hegseth when he passed out from drunkenness in the bathroom of a bar in Minneapolis in 2013. And the law firm that masters legal AI will be the one to work for, since they can have access to millions of legal opinions and cases in a moment's notice. Oh, for sure. For sure. Most law firms are using AI already, I would say. I would say most lawyers are already using AI quite a bit. Dude, is this seriously all they have? Is like literally, oh, Hegseth got drunk and like he passed out, and one time, and oh, and another time Hegseth got drunk and he puked. Who cares? What's the big deal? Unreal, man. Holy cow. What's Drudge Report doing? I haven't seen that fakeness in a long time. Pardons for 1,500 Capitol rioters. I'm going to buy some mother effing guns. Spain calls on world to fight against Silicon Valley Technocast. Insta-hide search results for Democrats. Tune out. TV ratings fall for inauguration. Fox dominates MAGA party. Nearly all viewers 55 and older. Snow. Yeah, that's crazy. New Orleans got snow. New White House press secretary takes over, 27 years old. Dude, look at this. Hannity scores first season 2 Oval Office interview. Can conservative media survive by sucking up? These are the most ridiculous headlines I've ever seen. Trump seeks early renegotiation. President Trump is using the threat of imposing stiff tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico as soon as next week to pressure the two nations to start renegotiating a trade deal. The U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement, which was crafted during Trump's first term in office as a replacement for NAFTA, is up for review in 26, but Trump hopes to negotiate it sooner. Using the threat of tariffs to change automotive rules under the trade pact, forcing car plants to move from Canada and Mexico back to the U.S. That has sent major automakers rushing to find ways to satisfy Trump without blowing up the North American auto supply chain that extends throughout the three nations. Trump will turn to Howard Lutnick and Jameson Greer to handle negotiation of MCA. He's threatening to impose tariffs on Mexico and Canada to compel the countries to limit the flow of fentanyl and migrants. He said he's considering 10% tariffs on China, weighing tariffs on the EU. The USMCA governs roughly $2 trillion of trade between the U.S. and its continental neighbors. It was approved by Congress with the broadest support of any trade deal in U.S. history. More than 200 Democrats in the House and Senate joined Republicans in backing the agreement because of the stricter labor and environmental standards that Trump's team added and broadened its appeal. Since its signing, Mexico and Canada have supplanted China as the leading U.S. trading partners. I don't think there's any question that there will be a reboot of USMCA. Kramer said he's been in contact with Canadian officials about how they can assuage Trump's demands, either by reforming the trade pact, addressing fentanyl smuggling, or contributing more military spending to NATO, all long-standing Trump irritants. Hopefully they'll respond quickly and dramatically enough to avoid the tariffs altogether. That's certainly the goal. Wow, man. Good. I hope Trump succeeds on that one. Good. Tech leaders pledge $500 billion. Trump meets with GOP leaders. Trump huddled Tuesday with Republican leaders in an effort to hash out a plan for passing his legislative agenda in what lawmakers characterized as a pep rally. The meetings in the Oval Office with Trump and J.D. Vance followed a blitz of executive actions a day earlier that wiped out most convictions, reshaped immigration and energy policies, and laid the groundwork for upending global trade. Johnson and Thune have little room for error. A great spirit of unity. I can tell you the Republican Party is united and excited, Johnson said after the meeting with Trump. There's a lot to do, and part of it is just figuring out how to stage it. Wild. All right, guys. I'm going to call it. I got up early this morning and worked hard all day, so I'm particularly tired. So, see you guys tomorrow.